Hello students, today I want to go over nonfiction books with you, and I want to show you what some of the nonfiction text features look like. We did go over this during the course of the year, and I know that you have read nonfiction books many times in second grade and even in kindergarten and first grade. But I thought it would be fun to end the year doing nonfiction, as it's one of our favorites. We love to read nonfiction books because they just teach us so much about any topic we want. Today I'm going to read a book to you called Rocks and Minerals by Tori Maloof. Actually, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, just certain pages, and I just want to show you some of the nonfiction text features that we have talked about in school. All right, so right here on page 3, of course, is our table of contents. As you recall, table of contents is a list of different sections of the book, almost like chapters. They tell you what each section of the book will be about. So if you wanted to learn about the rock cycle and you didn't want to read the whole book, you can go ahead and turn to page 20. If you needed to look up a word and you needed to go to the glossary, you would simply turn to page 30. So all of this information is in the table of contents. I just want to go back. Sorry, I was just thinking, boys and girls, I want to let you know that not every nonfiction book has table of contents. So I just want to be clear that not every single book does. Some do and some don't. So when you're going back and doing your scavenger hunt this week to try to find some of these nonfiction text features, you may or may not have some of the features we talk about today. All right, so I'm going to just read a little bit here. It's called, this chapter is called Almost Anywhere. If I go back, I saw Almost Anywhere is starting on page 4, and right here I'm on page 4. Look up, down, and all around. Almost anywhere you look, there are rocks. Earth itself is made of rock. There are even rocks in outer space. Mountains and beaches are made of rocks. Buildings and roads can be made of rocks too. Okay, really sounds like an interesting book. It's got me very interested in reading, actually. So let's take a look at the pictures here. You see on page 4 a picture of a beach with some rock on it in the water. I also see a little caption that describes a picture at the bottom of page 4. It says, meteorites are rocks that have fallen to the ground from outer space. Oh my. Okay, let's look at page 5 now. I'm going to go ahead and just read page 5 for you. There are rocks that are young and rocks that are ancient. Some rocks are enormous and some rocks are tiny. Certain rocks are tough and strong, while other rocks are soft and delicate. Rocks can be really rough or really smooth. Rocks come in various shapes and colors, but all rocks have interesting stories to tell. And then underneath I see a man wearing a helmet, and he has some kind of tool. It looks like he's kind of digging into that rock over there. Let's see what it says in Crazy About Rocks. Crazy About Rocks. Some scientists study rocks. They love to learn about them. These scientists are called geologists. Aha, so that is who this person is here, a geologist, a scientist that studies rocks. Okay, moving on to the next section of the book, rock types. And rock types is actually a heading. Okay, that's another feature I didn't talk about. If I go back almost anywhere, that is a heading. Our heading here is called rock types. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'm going to just show you on the bottom of page 6, I see some labels. Minerals, rock, minerals combine to form rocks. And then we have another little box here. This looks kind of like a caption. Really kind of looks like it describes this picture here. Cool crystals. Each mineral has its own shape. These shapes are called crystals. Igneous rock. So that is another heading right here. Okay, I also see some more labels. I'm just going over some of the text features. Granite, quartz, feldspar. Okay, these are all different types of igneous rocks. Okay, when I look down below at the writing below, it says one type of rock is igneous rock. The word igneous means from fire. So I'm going to just stop right here. Notice how the word igneous is in really dark print. That's called bold print. Words that are in bold print are really important vocabulary words, and typically those words are in the glossary at the end of the book, if there is a glossary. Sometimes they might have a glossary underneath the writing on each page. Every book is just a little bit different. Again, we have another word in dark bold, magma. The liquid rock is called magma. Okay, so moving on, I see another label, pumice, the pumice stone, and I see a little light here, a light bulb that says pumice is the lightest rock on earth. Many people use pumice stones to scrub away dead skin. And right below it is actually a picture of a pumice stone. Sometimes they use this at a pedicure. I know I've had that used on me. It's kind of a stone that, like it says, it scrubs away those dead skin. So if you have dry skin, it really helps remove that dry skin from you. Okay, moving along to sedimentary rocks. This is another heading. Sediment, I see another bold word here. And below, a stream slowly wears away at rocks. So again, this is just a caption describing this picture. This is a really cool picture here. Sandstone is worn away by wind. Okay, another really cool page. Finding fossils. Fossils can be found in some sedimentary rocks. Excuse me. They are made from bones of shells or living things. So, just another caption describing the picture. And here's another label. Some more bold words. Evaporates, remains. Okay, here we have a diagram. Okay, so we have a labeled diagram. This is the inside of the earth. The crust is labeled, the outer core, inner core, and the mantle. And you can kind of see that in this diagram here. Okay, so nonfiction books can definitely have diagrams. Okay, so we have some more labeling. Okay, here kind of almost looks like a life cycle. It's actually called a rock cycle. The chart below shows how rocks continuously change in the rock cycle. So this is another kind of chart here that shows you and teaches you information. And we have back on page 20 another caption here. There's even a key on page 21. There's a little key for this with the blue arrows, red arrow, and so on, what the colors actually mean. So there's a key for this chart. Okay, so we have another few interesting pictures here. Again, this is labeled here with an arrow and a caption to describe what is going on here. Same thing on page 23. Another diagram that is labeled, another little caption. All right, rocking resources, another heading here. Some captions. I'm going to just go ahead and move through here. Sometimes at the end of nonfiction books, they have some kind of recipes or science experiments you could try at home. Sometimes they have those here. Okay, and finally on page 30, we have the glossary, and here are some of those bold words that we saw. I remember seeing magma and igneous and all these words. It just tells you what the words mean. So if you are confused when you're reading, reread the sentence, and if you still don't understand, go to the glossary and read the definition so you understand what the word means. Finally, the index. Usually that comes at the very end of the book. It is not a glossary because it does not explain what these words mean, but it does tell you what pages you would find some type of information on these words. So if you were looking for limestone you were kind of researching about limestone and you wanted to find specifically about that, it could be something on page 15, page 18, or 26. So these are not chapters either. These are just specifically the pages you would find these words really on. Okay, I think that's the end of the book. We are all done here. Okay, so boys and girls, I hope this just kind of gave you a little bit of a review of some of the nonfiction text features that we've talked about in school. When you're reading at home, whether you're reading a real book that you happen to have at home or a book on Mayan, then you may or may not have all the text features in those books, and that's okay. Books have all different things in them. So one might have a table of contents, one might not. One might have graphs and charts, and one might not. So if it doesn't have every single text feature, it's okay. I hope this helped. Have a great day.